Hi there, welcome to Island Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Leo energy. Oops. And we're going to do this 10 card spread. And we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people are at different emotional maturity levels in their Leo energy. You know, Leo energy can talk about our ego nature, or have we tempered our more egoic nature? And have we learned these lessons in life? High vibe energy is being enlightened to the truth that, it's not just all about us. And we shouldn't think it should be all about us. And, that love is about treating other people the way we like to be treated and to be just and fair and act with character and integrity. And some people haven't learned those lessons yet. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to read it from a couple different perspectives. We all tap into Leo energy. This might be something that people who are a Leo sun sign or have significant Leo placements might particularly be dealing with in their life, or more of a challenge for them, because it could be something that challenges Leo energy in general right now. But we all tap into Leo energy. We either temper our ego nature or we don't. So let's go see what's going on. I view this card as the overarching reason for the reading, and it's not showing itself. So what is it? The Strength card. There's different people that we meet in our life, and with some people, we don't know them well enough. And people could be trying to figure out how people harness their Leo energy. In general, are you more motivated maybe just by the world? Still kind of caught up in the illusion of the world? That's what drives and motivates you. It's more about the ego and the image and the status. Or have you tempered your ego and it's more about justice and fairness and truth and love, and not so much about the ego? At the heart of the reading, we have the Page of Cups in reverse. Some people hide that they are just operating from their ego. It's like a mental construct that they present of who they are, this illusion they create about who they are. And some of those people emotionally, because the pages can represent all three of the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, they're not connected in with their emotional nature, some people, but they don't want people to know that. If there's some people in their life who they know are more motivated and inspired by truth and love and justice and fairness, they might not be making those people a love offer or even trying to get to know them. If you're more shadowy, you can want to try to manipulate and control people to get them to do what you want. And if there's people that are not maybe naive and gullible, and they've learned these lessons in life, and people don't think they can manipulate and control them, they're not even going to try for some. And at the end of the story is the Four of Cups, where, we have to accept that some things that are going to be missed opportunities, and we kind of realize who are the people who are more motivated by love. And we really didn't miss an opportunity in love, and that's kind of sometimes how I view the Four of Cups. I can't miss an opportunity in love with someone who's not very loving, So I'm going to take that cup of love for myself. And because I could love myself, and because I've learned these lessons, maybe not as naive and gullible, but I'm also not going to make offers to people who I do think are more shadowy. So we start out with a card not showing itself, which is the Two of Swords, which is Libra energy. Some people are, let's go look at this card too. The Four of Swords. Some people are listening to their intuition. They are not more about themselves. They are not kind of living more from their mind than their heart, in the Ace of Wands reverse and the Nine of Swords reverse. And there's certain people in their life that they already have seeing the truth of, and they're not taking action towards those people. They're not communicating with those people. In the Seven of Wands reverse, they don't feel like there can be a victory there worth defending, because they could feel that some people in an upside down Emperor, upside down Ace of Wands, Nine of Swords, Page of Cups, Seven of Wands, aren't people who might try to present themselves as being, again, like people can try to create this illusion in the world, like, I'm this just and fair and stable and grounded and loving person. You should be my friend. You should work here. You should date me. You should marry me. But for some of those people, you already know some people who are like that. And you've probably already cut some of those people out of your life because you know they're not who they say they are. You know that they're still in denial of the truth and do operate more from their egoic nature and haven't healed and probably reject the truth that is supposed to be about love. And there too, if you're going to get in a romantic relationship, it should be because of love. That's the truth. And there's some people, they're not doing love no matter what. That's in the Four of Cups. I'm not doing love. I get hurt doing love. And so it's more to be in relationships, kind of indulge himself in relationships, whether they're male or female, be in it for what I can get out of it, for how it best suits me, but not wanting to make better decisions in their life, not wanting to take other people into consideration. And some of those people aren't up in their head about some of the loving people that aren't in their life anymore, because they also saw the truth that those people started to listen to their intuition, tempered their more worldly nature or their fears or their insecurities or their defensiveness or their more loving nature, to balance it, to not let the fact that they love people let people manipulate them. And if they can't manipulate someone and those people healed, well then they're no longer up in their head about those people either. Well, that didn't work out. That won't move forward victoriously and successfully because that person worked through things that kept them stuck and up in their head and being more inspired by the world and ego and image. Those people healed. And those people are in High Priestess energy and the Three of Wands, the high vibe people. Listening to their intuition, tempering their ego, staying balanced within themselves, focused on truth and love, listening to their intuition, taking action to believe in themselves, believe in their dreams, offering other people love, to work together with people in a just and fair way. But I'm not going to indulge people anymore in poor behavior, and I'm not going to indulge poor behavior in myself. Because if I indulge poor behavior in myself, I'll get in relationships with other people who are happy I did. And so because some people are doing that, there's other people who could know you're doing that. And because of that, those people could feel like they missed an opportunity in love because you're a loving person. But, they're kind of out of balance in their Leo energy. More about hiding behind their ego. Again, if I want to be in a relationship, I don't want to temper my ego and my fear to be more authentic and loving and inspired by love. So some of those people are not making some good decisions in their life. They're kind of not standing up to their more egoic nature and maybe not offering love to themselves or others, and really could be up in their head. And probably hiding from people in their life that they feel stuck. They want justice in their life, like they want the things like other people have. They just don't want to do love or to have to temper their being more about themselves. Because you're either have been illuminated to the truth that love is what makes it all worthwhile, and you've healed and grown and matured yourself enough to work together with people from a place of love. But it's like they want to be in relationships with people who are like that, but that's not their truth. And that's not the aspect of themselves that they are standing up and defending. They stand up and defend. Shadowy High Priestess is hiding. And then we have the Three of Wands, Aries energy, which is about the self. Some people are hiding that, they're more about themselves. They could be making offers to people to try to get people to be in a relationship with them. But it's more for just how it benefits them. And of course, they think that's just and fair. But they can't tell people that they're more about themselves or the ego or the image or the status of it, because people wouldn't get in a relationship with them. And I think most shadowy people can try to get in a relationship with someone who's more high vibrational because they don't want to be in a relationship with someone like themselves. I think everybody kind of likes to be around loving and encouraging and supportive people. It's the energy that we thrive best in. So it's like, what? You're not bossy and controlling. You're not all up in your head. You're not immature. You're not more prideful, egotistical, deceptive, and manipulative. You've kind of healed from issues and tempered your ego to be more high vibrational and inspired by love. Yeah, I want to be in a relationship with you. Offer me a cup of love. This will be great. And I'm going to try to create the illusion I'm on the same page as you. But as they move forward in relationships like that, the other people aren't harnessing these energies in a more shadowy way. They are more inspired by love and justice and fairness and balance. And as they offer love to people like this, the other people would rather probably be more about themselves, more bossy and more controlling, maybe more immature, more defensive, but they're tempering that aspect within themselves. That's where, normally you could think of the Strength card as tempering our beastly nature. Well, some people really did, and they're not as immature and prideful or bossy or controlling or egotistical or self-centered as they could have been when they were much younger, right? Other people are just trying to not let their more shadowy nature show. And it can be very hard to hide that. And the problem is we all really kind of want to live our more authentic life, right? And when you get in a more mismatched relationship like this, which some people have went through, some people are in, eventually the more high vibrational people kind of feel in the Four of Cups like they're missing an opportunity in love because they're offering other people love, but the other people seem to maybe want to be in it, but it can kind of feel like they're more indulging in it. Like it's not more like using your emotions manipulatively, using your sexuality manipulatively, using your words and your charm and your looks or your social clout, and using all those things more manipulatively than being more authentically motivated by love. And that's when the high vibe people start to think, well, I don't know if I want to keep staying in this relationship. Everybody might kind of want to stay in it for their different reasons. And, if we put work and effort into a job, friendship, or relationship, we'd like it to work. But, and then the other people could kind of not like to be in it because they don't really get to live their more authentic life. They have to present the illusion that they're more motivated and inspired by love when really that's maybe not the truth of who they are. And they're having to suppress maybe living their life the way they'd really like to live it And so I think the shadowy people are kind of hiding. They feel stuck, starting to think about this might look good by worldly standards, but again, do I want to stay in a job, a friendship, or relationship where I can't really be myself? And if I'm more bossy or I'm more immature or I like to go indulge in certain things to make me feel better, that maybe, in place of love, and the people I'm in relationship with kind of require me to maintain a certain image or status or balance in the relationship. And I don't really like to do that to begin with. They start to question, do I really want to keep doing this? Because this isn't what I love. This isn't how I like to operate in the world. And the other people could feel a little stuck, but everybody right now might not be taking action. A lot of these cards here can be action cards. As they're just trying to decide. And also, everybody can kind of use their intuition, but some people use it in a more shadowy way. Like, do I think I can still manipulate and control this person? Or has this person healed? Have they worked through some of their issues that whatever could have manipulated them before, like within themselves? Have they worked through it that I can't manipulate them the way I used to? And then it's kind of using their intuition is what the High Priestess can talk about to try to, do I think I can keep manipulating them or can I not? And if people haven't made a decision, some people, everybody could feel kind of stuck in some situations, whether it's a boss to an employee to a boss, an adult child to a parent, a friend, a neighbor, a romantic interest. Just trying to figure out who are the people that are in a more, seem to be more on the same page as them, who seems to not be more on the same page as them. And while people could be trying to decide, they could be not taking action, more out of being up in their head about it. Like, I'm not going to make a gesture towards anyone. I'm just maybe going to keep listening more to my intuition and just see how things go, see how things progress. With some people could be giving people time to heal. In our high vibe nature of our own Leo energy, we have the free will to listen to our intuition and to heal. And that's what some people are doing right now. And because I'm healing, I am not going to take action. There might be people that I could be attracted to. There could be people I like. There could be people I could view as someone I would like to get to know more. But until my intuition tells me that maybe I've healed from a past situation, I'm not going to make an offer to someone else. And I could just be taking this time to invest in myself to heal and grow and mature myself from anything else I might have went through. Now, there could be some shadowy people on the other side of the spectrum who, there could be people they could get in relationship with. There could be people they could be attracted to. But some of those people are deciding, it's kind of like for every person on this side of the world of duality, there's someone equally on the opposite side in that, but in a kind of opposite view of life. But they could look like the same in a way, like, oh, I think that person's healing and taking their time, and but other people could be like, no, some people just want to take time and in a more shadowy way just be about their self, and they're looking to see who they can manipulate. And if they can, until they can determine if they think they can manipulate someone, they're not going to take action towards them, or not taking action towards someone in order to try to manipulate. High vibe people offer truth and love to people. Shadowy people don't take action towards people to try to manipulate them and hope that those people won't love and believe in themselves enough, and that those people, because they're like a loving person, that those people will take action towards them. Even though the loving people are probably the people who are putting in work and effort to make the relationship work to begin with, and eventually quit taking action towards them because they were being kind of shadowy. But the shadowy people are prideful. So they keep going with this idea that they could think is a good idea. I'll just keep trying to manipulate them. And while they're trying to manipulate other people, the other people keep being, and I view high vibe Leo, also represented by the Sun card. Every day that goes by that someone who was hurtful or unkind or unjust or unfair, immature, bossy, controlling, defensive, prideful, isn't, the Page of Cups can be an apology, isn't reaching out, is another day that the more high vibrational people in their life kind of are illuminated to the truth that some people aren't as just or fair or balanced or loving or who I thought they were. And then eventually, they no longer view those people as people they would maybe want to move forward in a relationship with anymore anyway. And eventually, from the Seven of Wands down to the Three of Wands is letting go of the Four of Wands. Where before there was people that we thought we wanted to move forward with, and that would be kind of the Six of Wands, and that we wanted to come together with in joy and celebration, and we thought we were inspired by the same truth, justice, fairness, love, tempering our ego. And the more time that goes by, the more the other people realize that really isn't what kind of drives and motivates them. And then they kind of realize, I don't know, this high priestess, I guess, what is she looking at? I don't know. From a distance, though, it kind of makes me think like emotionally, like people offering people in their past, wishing them peace, but I've learned to give myself, and that's how I view high vibe Leo, I've learned to give myself that cup of love and give myself the things that I wish other people would have given me that aren't. And it had kept me stuck maybe for quite a while I worked through it. And then from the Two of Swords to the Nine of Swords, the difference is the Seven of Swords. Working through the mental conflict of people that we thought were on the same page as us, had the same dream as we had, motivated and inspired and viewed it as victorious and successful, and motivated and inspired by truth and love, kind of working through the confusion of it and seeing we have different dreams, and our idea of the dream life or dream relationship is different, and what they think is just and fair is different. And all we can do is offer people truth and love. And if that's not the energy they want to work together with us in, they won't. And we have to accept that truth. That is their truth. This isn't their truth. Would they maybe still be willing to be in the friendship or relationship if you would go back and be more upside down and in your ego and being conflicted and feeling unloved, sure, then a lot of people could rush in. Hey, I'll be your friend. Yeah, I'll date you. Yeah, I'll marry you. Practically, so long as you stay in that energy. But if you're going to maintain balance within yourself and love and believe in yourself, then you would require me to be in that energy. And I haven't taken that cup of love. I'm still in denial that I maybe need to temper my ego, or I have things I need to heal from, or I just have a more worldly, egoic view of life, and I'm willing to be in a relationship, to make myself feel better, to indulge in it. And if you're not willing to stay in a relationship with me, to indulge me in it, to be in a relationship for being in a relationship, well, then I'll go find someone else who will. And some of those people are doing that right now. So what are the high vibe people doing who are listening to their intuition, who basically kind of a lot of cards of just healing, taking action towards your dreams, offering other people truth and love to find the people in the world who are open to that, and wishing peace to the people who that wasn't their truth, getting out of your ego about it. What's coming up for the high vibe people they don't see coming? A card not showing itself, and the reason is because of the death card. So the death card can talk about going through a phase of transformation, detaching from an old way of living life. This could even be habits. You could have been more inspired in the past to take action, living more from your mind than your heart, indulging your more immature, worldly, prideful, wanting to feel better nature. And now you're not doing that. Even if we quit a vice or a habit, we kind of go through a mourning process emotionally because we're no longer emotionally indulging in that. But the same thing happens in relationships. When we've had people who've left our life, and for some people it could just be that certain people aren't in their life anymore and they have to kind of mourn that and heal from that. Other people had relationships end, or friendships or jobs end, and you kind of go through a grieving process. And a person, that would be on the internet, I think it's like the 7 stages of grief. And you go through the anger phase and go through all these different stages. And it's part of emotionally detaching. And the death card is Scorpio energy. And Scorpio is fixed sign energy. So it's kind of the emotional nature we tap into, I believe, when we're in the midst of something. And it's hard to get out of it. That's why it's called fixed sign energy. It's hard to transition out of it. But I think as people go through this process, the death card talks about how it transforms your whole life. You could have taken action more out of pride and ego and lust and greed and done all these things to try to make yourself feel better, but you chose to temper your ego and take that cup of love and offer love to yourself in the situation to work through all of it and learn the lesson you're meant to learn and close out that phase in your life so you can move forward and take the lessons that you've learned from it with you moving forward. And so I think with this card not showing itself, you are going to move forward and people can see you moving forward differently. What they don't know is kind of maybe how you're doing it. And for some people that are in the process of it, what people don't understand is that you're working through how you could have harnessed this energy in a more worldly way or shadowy way. And that's what made you live your life the way you did and stay in certain jobs, friendships, and relationships. And there was things about it you didn't like. Maybe people weren't inspired to harness high vibe Gemini energy and be more motivated and inspired by being more authentic and loving and inspired by love. And you were, but before you maybe were more caught up in the world and maybe more codependent. And so working through those things within yourself so you don't repeat that same pattern. And so part of Scorpio, which is about exploring the mysteries of life, we're emotionally complex human beings, and Scorpio's emotional water sign energy. So kind of getting to know ourself and love ourself and listen to ourselves and kind of get clear about what our truth is and what we want to manifest, because some of the things we did try to manifest didn't work out the way we thought. And we can't change other people, but we can change us. And if we don't change us and we have the same ways of thinking about life, viewing ourselves, viewing the world, what we think is just and fair, and maybe we weren't really being more authentically ourselves. And this whole process could have been to try to get us more balanced within ourselves. And we come in contact with all these people to help us get more clear about what our truth is and isn't. And then to be strong enough to stand up for that in truth and love. So what is it that you're transforming? The King of Wands, which, well, this is the Emperor, but the King of Wands and the Emperor are both Aries energy, like the Three of Wands. And in our Aries energy of self, you know, for the first 30, 40 years of our life, we're really pretty inspired by a lot of things of the world that we want to manifest, go indulge in, all these things that we think are sure will make us happy. And if anybody was more of maybe trying to control other people, that can be shadowy Aries energy. But a lot of loving people can really try to motivate and inspire other people to love and believe in themselves. And that's good, but to kind of maybe walk our truth, we can be loving and encouraging to a lot of people, but we don't have to get in a more involved relationship with them. But when we were younger, we could have thought, well, everybody's motivated and inspired by love. So, oh, but look at that person. Maybe they're not so, because Gemini about free will can be that some people aren't really motivated and inspired by love, and you know, maybe aren't very vulnerable or authentic and could be quite defensive. Or they're definitely in their Gemini nature of self and their Leo nature of self, kind of more about themselves or more inspired to be about the world or things they like to indulge in. But when we were younger, we maybe didn't listen to our intuition. And we felt stuck because we did want to manifest these things. And maybe some of the people who were more on the same page as us weren't in our environment. And so then we could have gotten in relationships with people where we really weren't more on the same page as them, but thinking everybody's motivated and inspired by love. And then you find out, no, they're not. And so I'm kind of looking at the Three of Wands as taking action, kind of more living your truth. Can be loving and encouraging to others, but before that could have kind of more driven people's life off into the ditch. Of really, I don't know, for some reason the King of Wands is, because the kings can be about action that we take and how we present ourselves in the world. And some people really could have a very big heart and really trying to get other people to look at life differently and believe in themselves and blah, blah, blah. Why not just live your life? And if people are kind of motivated and inspired by that, then maybe some of those people would reach out to you to ask. I mean, it's still treating other people the way you like to be treated in the world, being a loving and encouraging person, but kind of not being in your ego about it, like that's how you define yourself in a way. Like people have to respond to it or validate it for me to feel successful or something. No, I can be a loving, encouraging person, but that having other people, it's not trying to change people because God gave people free will. So accepting the truth, everybody has free will to live their life the way they want. Be a loving, encouraging person to people, and then just live your life. And not like other people having to view you that way or validate you as being that type of person, as kind of like your identity or something. It's just the truth of who I am. People can take it or leave it. And then we kind of get out of our ego about it. You know, people can respond in kind or not, and I'm no longer going to stay stuck in my ego because I maybe couldn't heal people. It's like it's kind of just being an encouraging, just fair person in the world and letting other people have their free will to decide if that's their truth or not. And if it's not, it's not. And you might know some people, you know, that are still in that phase of life. They could be waiting for their dreams to come into reality, waiting for other people to heal or change. And then that's a stage of life they're going through. And if they want to stay in it, for whatever reasons they want to stay in it, hoping one day maybe people will heal, that's their free will choice. And if some of them are doing that, if that's kind of consuming them and taking up their time and their focus, you might wish them peace. And I hope that works out for you. In the meantime, I'm going to keep moving forward, and, you know, whatever goes on here, if that means you can't move forward with me at this time, then I get out of my ego about it. And I wish you peace and love, but I do have a dream, and my intuition is telling me that it's kind of time for me to move on. That if I keep staying in a certain situation in my life, it could be more because of my fears or my insecurities or not having hope and faith and belief in love. And I do, and I am going to walk the talk. And I am going to heal and take action in truth and love. And if there's other people that aren't ready to work with me in that way, I get out of my ego about it. I wish them peace. I quit maybe taking action towards them also. And so not harnessing your fire sign energy in a more worldly, egoic driven nature. Being more inspired to love yourself and stand up for your truth. And if there was people that aren't investing in you in that way, aren't offering you that cup of love, people who you feel could be trying to manipulate you or control you, that's not love. And I'm going to focus my time and attention on things and people who do work together with me in that way, and detach from the people who don't. And it will transform your whole life. What's coming up for people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Leo energy that they might not see coming? So, some people who are in a more shadowy energy could feel stuck. And they also, well, I think their ego gets in the way of them healing, because the truth sets us free, but because of people's ego, and maybe don't want to humble themselves to even admit that maybe they went in the wrong direction and it didn't work out the way they wanted. Other people saw something didn't work out the way they wanted. They got out of their ego and they moved on. Other people have a harder time getting out of their ego. And, we can kind of indulge ourselves and saying, no, I am sure it will work out the way I want. And that can be people who kind of don't want to see the truth. If they have some people also in their life who aren't taking action towards them or being just and fair, they're not willing to become, high vibe energy is about willing to become independent of things that aren't more aligned with truth and love and growing and healing and maturing yourself and being respected as an individual that has your own dreams, aspirations. And it can be staying in more codependent energy, either codependent on the world, codependent on other people, a friend group, original family group or something. And some of those people just haven't learned to love themselves regardless of how old they are. And again, some people just don't want to do love. And so then it's to try to get someone else to invest in them, or looking to other things to be the answer to make them feel better. And then they want to indulge in it. If it's getting in relationships with people who are loving, perfect. I'm going to try to manipulate another loving person to indulge me in a relationship. And some people just want to be in relationships to kind of rest and heal within, but they don't, because they don't know how to offer this to themselves to heal and get better. But then sometimes when they get in relationships and they're in a supportive, loving, and encouraging environment, they still just, it's just a place to heal and rest within, but they don't really heal. They never really reflect on the truth of maybe how they haven't learned to love themselves. And it can just be going to relationship to try to feel better, but they never do that work within themselves. And some people, that could be how they view life and relationships. And they could think that's what everybody else does too. What's coming up for the more worldly, shadowy people they don't see coming? The Page of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, and the Tower. And the reason is because of the Five of Cups. So we can all get in, we'll probably get in different friendships and relationships because some other friendship or relationship didn't work out, right? So we can all get in a new job, friendship, or relationship because we're kind of in Five of Cups energy. Sad that some other thing didn't work out the way we wanted. The difference is the high vibe people kind of work through making peace with the past, is what the Page of Cups talks about. And to close out that chapter in their life in the Ten of Pentacles, to go from the Five of Cups to the Seven of Cups, which is the Two of Cups, which is Cancer energy about love. I'm not giving up on my dreams of love. That didn't work out. Kind of accept the truth of it, work through it, came to a place of peace about it. But I'm not going to let the fact that some relationships in my life didn't work out the way that I wanted, that I'm not going to give up on my dreams. And I want to have a new relationship and let go of the regrets of the past and move forward in this new relationship. And then with the people they're in relationship with, those people have to think about how, well, if I'm going to be in a relationship with someone who's more just and fair and intuitive and balanced and loving, well, I can't be more about myself, and I can't live more from my mind than my heart, and I can't be more immature, and I can't be more defensive. I would have to temper my ego to move forward in a relationship with someone like that. I have to detach from my more defensive or egoic nature, and I also have to detach and heal and let go of some other relationships in my life to take this cup of love, or this relationship isn't going to work out. And that's what some high vibe people do in their life. You know, if they're going to get in another relationship, you know, they are willing to put work and effort in it to move forward in that new relationship. But sometimes they get in relationships with people who don't do that. And again, sometimes some shadowy people are really just getting in a relationship with someone else to manipulate someone else, to make someone else feel unloved. They feel stuck and they're in their ego that someone else isn't working together with them. They haven't healed from that relationship. And they get the idea, I know, I'm going to create this illusion with someone else. Like, this is my dream come into reality here. Look, I got in a new relationship. Aren't you sad back there that I'm in this new relationship? You know, so it's kind of like, look, I'm moving forward with these other people. If you don't come and take action towards me, I'm going to, you know, maybe move on with someone else. Well, some people could see some people who do that in the world, and they don't want to be in a relationship with them. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who gets in a relationship with someone else to try to manipulate me, to come get back in a relationship with them. You know, that's kind of some people that got some weird ideas about what they think is just and fair. But that can be some shadowy people who always try to manipulate and control people, making decisions more out of their ego. And other people see them as not being inspired to take action, more inspired by truth and love, and they try these manipulative tactics. And that's not loving to the people they want to be in a relationship with, or the people they are currently in a relationship with. And for some of the people that they could currently be in a relationship with have been trying to move a relationship forward. They offer truth and love to, let's move this forward and emotionally detach from the past. But while they're doing that, the other person still hasn't worked through their regrets of the past, and you know, still kind of wants to keep repeating this old pattern. Let's just keep doing this. You don't love and believe in yourself. You don't want to detach. Let's keep doing this phase over and over and over. And eventually some other people see the truth of it. If I keep staying in this relationship, and I view the Five of Cups also, because usually in the Five of Cups, a person is looking at the Three Cups, where people aren't working together with them. But if they were to turn around, there's the Two Cups of love. I can keep staying in a relationship with someone who doesn't really want to do love, someone who hasn't healed, someone who doesn't put in work and effort to heal, to work through their defensiveness to moving forward in life. And eventually the high vibe people in their life decide to offer themselves that cup of love, come to a place of peace about it, reconcile themselves with the truth of it. I wanted a dream to come into reality. I was hoping we could heal something. But I'm ready to move forward, to let go of the regrets of the past and move on. And if the other person isn't, it's like, I can't keep staying sad, hoping one day people will be willing. And from the One Cup to the Seven of Cups is the Six of Cups, which can talk about making peace with some issues from their past. And maybe in the Ten of Pentacles, it could have to do things related to their family, or get more balanced in their more worldly nature, quit being more caught up in the world or in themselves, or getting other people to validate their worth and value and validate their own worth and value. Quit kind of trying to dim your light to get other people to validate you or something. Validate your own worth and value, or something. But the Seven of Cups can be where people kind of feel like people are just kind of caught up in the illusion of the world. That's the most important reason to stay in the relationship or get in the relationship. Not really love. Be in it because you don't want to be alone. And the other people are like, I don't want to be in a relationship for just those reasons. Are you motivated and inspired to heal this and move it forward from love? And some of the other people are like, no, you can go. I'm not inspired to look at life differently. If I am more about myself, I am more about myself. If I am more about the world and ego and image, that's why I want to be in a relationship. If that's not why you want to be in a relationship, you can go. I don't want to do love. I get hurt doing love. I'm sure there's other people who I can get in a relationship with that will happy to be in a relationship with me, and they won't require me to do love. And I'm maybe feel more stable and grounded within myself because that's where I'm at in my life. Because I maybe haven't worked through some issues from my past. And if I ever work through them, then maybe things would be different. And some other people in their life see the truth of it. And some people see that some people are more codependent, more materialistically based, and really kind of maybe more consumed about being more about themselves and these things of the world, and other people see the truth of it. It's not love that drives and motivates you, so I'm leaving. And then the shadowy people could be shocked because they maybe had a loving person in their life who used to be a loving and encouraging person in their life. It's like, I can be a loving and encouraging person in anybody's life, but until you're inspired within yourself to work through some of those issues and quit letting all those things or people or the world or whatever manipulate you, I can't play that role in your life constantly. It's kind of the idea of teach a man to fish and they can eat every day, or fish for them and give them a fish, but never teach them how to fish. And loving people try to encourage people to love and believe in themselves. And for some people, that is their idea of the dream relationship. You keep being in a relationship with me, but because I don't work through my issues, I could have these kind of shadowy or poor, pitiful me or whatever ways of being in the world. And you're never going to be in a relationship with someone like yourself. Because they're not inspired within themselves to do that work within themselves. And some people, again, they don't want to. I don't think I should have to do that work within myself. I think someone should love me and be there and continually fill up my cup. And it's kind of more about indulging them maybe in their lack of self-belief or something. Well, when are they going to work through it? Again, you provide a loving and encouraging environment. A lot of people would do that work within themselves to work through those issues because they don't want to keep dragging that baggage. But some people, so much of what we think affects our life. And some people think, nobody ever loves me, nobody ever blah, 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 blah. And even if they have loving and encouraging people in their life, they will sabotage it themselves because we will prove ourselves true. And it doesn't matter how loving or encouraging some people are, the less people will take action to keep, the more other people keep putting in action to move something forward, the less action the other people will start to put into it, because until they change how they think, some people just sabotage themselves in relationships because some of them want to play the poor, poor, pitiful me. And some people like being in that energy. And even then, maybe blaming other people, because then all these people will be reaching out and be loving and encouraging. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is great. Look how much attention everybody's giving me because this relationship didn't work out. And then some of those people even try to get other people not to view the loving and encouraging people in their life as being loving and encouraging people. You know, it's kind of like, I want people to view me as a loving and encouraging person, but I'm not a loving and encouraging person. But some people create a really good illusion of being that type of person in the world and like trying to get along with everybody or whatever. But then it's like the big, like, narcissist hit that if I can somehow sabotage this relationship and claim that I was the victim, it's like this abundance of narcissistic supply. And if people were in a more just and fair and balanced relationship where they could have transformed their whole life. But that isn't the truth of the foundation they operate from. They haven't learned to love themselves. They can get in relationships with other people who are loving, but shadowy energy can be that we get in our ego and our competitive nature. Like, well, why do you love yourself? Why don't you feel bad about yourself? Why don't you let all these things manipulate you like it manipulates me? And then they get in competitive energy, and then they don't want that person loving themselves. So then they can do all these, taking all this lack of action in a relationship, kind of rejecting the people they're in a relationship, focusing more attention on different people other than the people they're supposed to be building a foundation with, to get them to stop like loving and believing in themselves, to get those people in the same energy they're in, and to not love and believe in themselves, to kind of keep indulging these Debbie Downers or whatever it would be for a man. I don't know what the word would be. You shouldn't love and believe in yourself and be more independent because I don't love and believe in myself and I'm not more independent. And if you keep loving and believing in yourself and healing and growing and maturing yourself, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, because in order to stay in it, I would have to do this work within myself and deal with some truths I don't want to see the truth of. So instead, I might try to get you to leave by not taking this action. So eventually you'll kind of be so hurt and disillusioned that you can't stay in denial of the truth that I'm being unloving, but I'm of course going to claim it was you who is unloving. So then, and the shadowy people maybe want to be in relationship with people who also aren't more inspired by their more hopeful, believing, loving nature, because they're not inspired by their more hopeful, believing, loving nature. And just to kind of more believe in yourself and feel more confident within yourself. And we all could have gotten in friendships or relationships kind of being in that energy. But then because, we're working together with someone, I'm sure for a lot of ways, there could have been a lot of good things about it. While some people were in it, they did do that work within themselves to work through some of their fears, their insecurities, their past pain, heartbreak, their defensiveness, to feel more comfortable within themselves and love themselves and heal from issues from their past. And when they healed from those issues of the past, they were completely like on different pages. But the high vibe people try to offer love and encouragement to those people in their life to keep moving forward with them. And some of the people are like, no, you changed. You're not the same person. I'm going to go find someone, who's still kind of on the same page as I am. And, it could, another way to equate that, we can have a harder time, I think, understanding it when it's kind of being emotionally different and feeling different and kind of viewing life different. But it's almost the same as like if we had certain habits and patterns and activities and things that we invested time, energy, and effort in, and maybe as a vice, and now someone is like, well, that's not my vice anymore, and I don't really enjoy participating in those things and doing those things to the degree or the extent that I used to. You can kind of then more clearly see how some people are like, well, I still do like doing these things, and you don't. So, but sometimes it's just kind of more energetically where someone, they just don't look at life and view life the way they had before. And they're maybe more inspired within themselves to have more hope and faith and belief in themselves. And energetically, that can make them different from some of the people that they had been in relationship with. And that's when some of the other people cannot like it. You're moving forward in a way that I don't look at life that way. I don't view life that way. I haven't healed from some of my issues. I still have some of my self-limiting beliefs or my whatever. And you've changed. And there's going to be more high vibrational people in their life who could eventually kind of see that some people don't want to do love, like to play the victim, are kind of more immature and more codependent, or just more caught up in the ego and the image or themselves and the world. And other people didn't want that to be the driving factor in the relationship. And they're going to leave. And these people, there's always other people in Leo energy. People can look attractive, charming, successful, or whatever. So there's going to be other people who are going to probably find them, and the Three of Wands can be, look, I look like my dreams are coming into reality. There's other people who are attracted to people like that. Like, look at that person. They look like their dreams are coming into reality. And on top of it, they might be charming or attractive or smart or intelligent or whatever, And then other people will get in a relationship with them. And then those people will have to decide if this is their truth or not. And the Five of Cups in Scorpio can be that people could find some of these people more superficial and shallow. And you really can't have, in high vibe Scorpio, a more deep, meaningful relationship with them because they don't do more deep, meaningful relationships. It's more, again, to use their emotions and their sexuality and all these things in a more manipulative way to look like they have what other people have, but it's not more inspired by truth and love. It's all the facade of looking like truth and love. It's kind of like somebody being caught up in an addiction, right? It either has to be more about me, or it has to be more about the status or the ego or the image, or these things I indulge in to make myself feel better. And they're sure that's the answer. Love isn't the answer. That could only maybe hurt them and put them at risk of being hurt. So they'd rather reject love, and they might end up being in a situation that looks like it has everything kind of that people in the world could want with the Ten of Pentacles, But it could just be an illusion and hiding the fact that they missed an opportunity in love. But some people are too prideful to admit, I made a mistake. When I should have taken action in truth and love, I got my ego. I had some healing and growing and maturing to do. I kind of thought I could manipulate people, or I kind of thought it should be more about me, or I was really caught up in these things of the world. Well, if you never get out of your ego, it'll keep manipulating you. Some people could be in things they don't even want to be in. But because those things are so important to them, it manipulates them. And other people, it doesn't manipulate them that way. And those people can kind of just live their more authentic life. And the other people, it can all be about, well, I need these people to view me a certain way, and I need these people to want to be in a relationship with me or view me a certain way. And, sometimes it can be not appreciating the people in their life. Well, yeah, you like me, and yeah, you love me, but I need all those people to love me. Why don't those people love me? It's like, why are you so concerned about the people who aren't in relationship with you? Why are those people so important? And those people could be really important to them because they could view those people as having a certain status or image or clout in the world. There could be other people in the world that we completely do not understand why you want to hang out with those people. They are not people, we could think they're kind of bossy and controlling and immature and whatever. But people wouldn't align with that probably if there's not something within themselves that makes them kind of want to be part of that club, per se. And other people see the truth of it. The rest of the world is more important to you than the people in your life who maybe even love you. It's like, well, go enjoy those people. And the more those people try to get other people to value them and appreciate them, maybe the more those people won't, until some of these people, because some of the people they could want to be in friendship or relationship with, they are living their authentic truth. They're not trying to kind of like butt kiss other people. If they're rude, they're rude. If they're bossy, whatever, full of themselves, they embrace it. And there could be some other people who just haven't worked through some issues where it's kind of more wanting to be acknowledged by a group, but they may never be acknowledged by that group until they acknowledge themselves. And then when they acknowledge themselves and their own worth and value, quit giving other people so much power in their life, then they might see that they don't want to be in a relationship with those people anyway. But until they work through why they could feel rejected by those people, it could keep manipulating them. So there you go, Leo. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.